Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equities Story. I'm with the Wolf, and this is just general share advice and not personal, as per the disclaimer. Now, Wolfie,
Yes.
we're going to look at your top 10 because you put out a top 10, and these were fundamental stocks that reported well in the
With a
beginning
good outlook.
with a good outlook at the beginning of this financial year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have a look at those in a second to see how they've done, but also to see if they're still worth holding.
Yes.
Which is more important.
Absolutely.
Now, just have a quick look. AV1's down because they came out, they wouldn't accept the offer, and really hasn't sort of moved on the chart. Anyway, and nor would they really. It's a ridiculous offer, and but again, I think interesting for the company that one of their competitors is obviously seeing more value than where it was trading at the time.
Yes, I mean, markets are obviously short-term looking, of course, so they decided to sell off and go somewhere else.
You've got TLG, Talga Group. They came out with an announcement today, Wolf. Good.
Yeah, it's an update on the, I think, offtake they're talking about with a European player in the lithium space. So we're expecting some sort of news to come through within weeks, right? And hopefully it's positive. Hopefully it's a nice deal or some sort of nice arrangement between the two companies, and we'll see from there. It's a progress report pretty much. So it's just informing the market or the investors out there where they're at with these negotiations. So at the end of the day, really nothing material as yet, but just letting you know what's happening right now with Talga. So I'm still good positive. We had a bit of a sell-off on it, but if you're in this longer term, I would not be trading this at this stage, of course, unless of course you did it last week because it was a good chart. So if you did that, Dave, you've got a stop at.
Well, your stop's the same, but I think you've got your trend line, haven't you?
Yeah.
But I think if you want to be really short, you could go under the 150 and cut it if you're pretty aggressive. But to be honest with you, as long as it does break the trend line, I think absolutely fine. You'd be holding it.
All right, fair enough.
Because like you said, you've got to balance it off. It's a good story as well.
You do. But also you have to have a focus whether you're short-term trading this or long-term holding it.
AGI, Wolf. For some reason, my charts aren't updating like they should be at the moment. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll carry on with the story. They're trading it up another 4% today. Some good broker upgrades on them.
Yeah, so we've got, first of all, they had a speeding ticket, right, this morning. As you do when you go up 20% before the actual announcement, what's going on was the question. Plus, they said, I think they referred to the announcement. Do you think that this was a pretty important announcement due to the fact that you talked about what's happening in the future and you gave us some sort of guidance? And they said, yes, but we're expecting this and we talked about it briefly before. Look, it doesn't matter the nuances of it. The fact is that they've answered that speeding ticket. The market's happy with it. So at the end of the day, it's still a red hot go at this one. So hopefully some of you are in this. I'm expecting a bit of a pullback though, Dave. It's just had such a bloody marvelous run this week. But I'm looking at F1 Arena. There was a broker on there and they've come up with, let me tell you what they come up with. And this is Macquarie. Obviously we like Macquarie, right? It's a homegrown broker. So we've got an outperform with a 140 price target.
That's good. And that's obviously they're looking at their charts, aren't they? And I think, just under that 140, that's where I'd be taking a profit maybe.
Yep, agreed.
RDY, some more news on the offer?
Yeah, the takeover offer. Yeah, so there was it's a little bit complicated. There was two groups. I had a brief read through it. Basically, the offer still looks like it stands. They still have to finish the due diligence on it, but also they're thrown in there. This is from the KKR, which is a private equity, that possibly they're going to be script offer as well. And then you think to myself, hang on, private equity script? How does that work? What, they're going to give you some KKR? Thrown into it. But they are going to be doing apparently a new vehicle that's going to be listed as like maybe one of those investors that are just hoover up those entities, the cheap tech stocks potentially. I mean, pretty interesting, right? So that's something to think about also if you're looking at RDY, whether you're happy with that, with a scrip offer for your shares in a unknown entity.
All right. I have to apologize. For some reason, e-signal's playing up a little bit at the moment. Sometimes it can happen. DTC, so Damstra. You know, this was a story in the early days we quite liked, and thank God the charts really saved us again on this one. Otherwise, we'd have been destroyed on this. Wolf, any light coming out of this announcement? Could it get back over trend?
Look, while they've had the issues, that's why they've gone from $2 to 16 cents. It's not a terrible company. The management, of course, had its problems. The company was unprofitable. They missed the guidances, which is obviously reflective on the management. So it's going to take time before the investor fraternity decides to give them a green pass again. But for the moment, they're still going to struggle. However, if you look at today's update, the AGM, it's not that bad. It's okay. They're growing still the top line. They're still unprofitable, but at least slowly, step by little step, they are heading in the right direction. So it's way too early for us to look at this again. I don't know, maybe they need to some management changes or something, but they need some credibility, and maybe they just need time with that.
And Ash, Wolf, they've been holding the trend line, and they're actually back above trend at the moment, although, like I said, the charts are playing up. Good little dividend payer, not expensive, hitting goals. I think, I don't know is that correct? 13% dividend yield on Ash?
I'm not sure whether that's correct. I'd have to have a look at that, but obviously that's what Reuters says. Maybe there's a one-off dividend somewhere in there, like a special extra dividend. But just from today's announcement, Dave, if you look at the numbers, the comparable numbers they're talking about, there's growth there, right? So even though they're coming over small numbers on the bottom line, there is growth there. So at least the market or the investors in there saying, okay, it's still going okay if you're in this. And I think it's now trading 69.71 cents. So that's actually above trend. So that's not bad.
Yeah, I think if I'm looking so far this year, they did have I believe a special dividend of 0.03 cents, but you're still looking at about maybe possibly a 9% dividend, Wolf.
Yeah, look, it's still probably pretty good without the special dividend, right? So at the end of the day, you could treat this, and I think this together with PPE, which is another employment services type company, right? These companies seem to be going okay at the moment and giving good dividends. So you maybe can treat them as dividend plays.
Yeah, looks excellent. Wolf, I just want to say, Metcash. Interesting price target, $5. From who was that?
I think that was UBS. Let me have a quick look. Metcash, it was UBS. Yeah, it rates them as a buy, $5 price target. Just having a look, they're looking at anticipating 7% year-on-year growth from sales and 5% earnings growth. So that's not too bad for a fairly boring business when you think about it, but we like it. It's probably our favorite one, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We like boring businesses as long as they can give us good dividends or the chart's looking okay.
Yeah, well, strong dividend and a little bit of growth. Why not?
Exactly. Absolutely.
Wolf, just want to say the coal stocks are looking really good. So SMR holding trend and sort of breaking up and possibly could go on with it next week. YAL again really looking good for next week, and just to reiterate why that's going up. If you look at the coal prices for this week, they're up so far 12.5%. That's a $30 move or something like on those lines, right? For coal, that's a big move. So that's why you see a bit of a jump in those coal stocks. And again, Whitehaven, which it's run a little bit harder actually already. Whitehaven, maybe New Hope hasn't quite run as hard. Maybe if I was going to have a little go at one of them, it would be New Hope today. But they're all looking good. These little coal plays, coal's certainly back with a vengeance, Wolf.
Yep.
Now, Wolf, just beginning of this sort of financial year after reporting season, you looked at a number of stories, and the stories that reported well. So maybe
so I think we're looking. Sorry, Dave. So I think we're looking. I think we talked about it in late August, right? So we've got September, October, November. So 3 months update.
So what we want to do, Wolf, we want to go and have a look at these stories and decide if they're buy or hold or sell.
Yeah, or whether we should have taken profits already.
Right. Okay. So can I give you the short-term view and you give me the long-term?
Okay, can I just tell you, nothing's changed for all those 10 companies. So the fundamentals are exactly how they were when they reported. So I'm still giving all of them a tick.
Okay, so fundamentally you're fine.
Well,
okay, and so something like MAD, if you got in it just for a short-term trade, you'd be taking a profit here, Wolf.
Okay, fair enough.
PWH, I think if you're in it for a short-term trade,
you've made your money.
You've made your money. You either take a profit or just put your stop loss on a really tight stop loss here, maybe under that 1095, say 1094. Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, you made some really good calls here, Wolf, but we want to make money with them.
Of course.
Again, JLG for me is a hold. I can't remember what it was trading when you put this on, somewhere around here, was it?
Yeah, it was about, I think, $6 something. Yeah. If you look, go back to August. Let's have a look what August was. So like August.
If you're a short-term trader, you could just put to guarantee that you've made profit out of this, just put your stop loss at 679.
Yep.
Yeah. AOU, which has done well. Again, I'd be taking profits here.
Yeah. I think that was trading around 34 at the time, so that's 10%.
Yeah, it's a good little profit. PPE hasn't had the run for us, but technically you wouldn't be in this story, but fundamentally, I get it.
So I think on this one you'd be probably down 10%, but that's okay. It's fundamentally still good.
XRF, you might say if it's below 79 by the end of the week, you take a profit.
Yep, another 10% one right there.
AUB again, I'd be looking to take a profit just under that 24, to be honest. Yep.
So we bought it at 20, so that's another 10% right there.
PLS. Again, I think if it got below that 428, you'd be getting out of it.
So 350, I think we got it around there. So you're looking at, that's almost 20% profits. So actually, you were probably making 40-50% profits back in October. So I agree with you. I think if you're still in this, you're probably taking profit below 427.
SWM, you obviously technically you wouldn't be in it at all. So it's just a long.
So that one hasn't worked so far.
And Goodman Group, you wouldn't be in it, but from a technical point of view, if you were in it and you bought it, say if you bought it fundamentally, I would still be taking a profit around trend, and I'll be buying it back if it could get back over that 20 cents.
All right, so I think we bought that in 16. So that's actually pretty good return, 10% on the big story.
Yeah, definitely. So they're working out really, really well, Wolf, and people can do with what they want. I think what you're saying, you're still a believer in the stories. You've still got that yearly view of them, and from your point of view, from a fundamental point of view, they're still a hold.
Yeah, I think what should I probably add is most of them had the AGMs already, and they've just reiterated what the August reporting came through with, right? Where they thought there was a positive outlook. So at the AGMs over the last month, they were just reiterating that stuff, which is good. So it's definitely all of them, all 10 of them are still a hold. Even the old PPE, right, where the share price is languishing, sort of. They've said, well, we don't like our share price. We're doing bloody well business-wise. We're going to look at our options here. Is there someone that's interested in buying us? That's how crazy this market is.
All right, perfect. Well, when have we got the next reporting season?
And we've got it in February. So now it's got a bit of a actually, no, look, the big one is in February, right? But the smaller one, which is the quarterly, is in January. So we've got a month of really relaxing. That's December. That's usually the center rally, which we might not have this year. You just never know. But January starts off again with the quarterlies, but then really we're into the swing of things in February again, which is going to be well, again, for us, a spotlight on finding good stories, making sure that the top 10 of that we just talked about are still on track for the 12 months, and see where we're at market-wise.
All right, Wolf, absolutely brilliant. And listen, those are 10 really amazing stories that you gave us like a few months ago. 8 have done really well. 2 of
Pretty
them,
good.
well, I don't know. It's like,
Well, you want me 10 out of 10?
Well, we expect excellence, but we might let you off. We might let you off those 2.
Okay.
But Wolf, no, seriously, very, very good champion, and it just shows, doesn't it, buying good stories that are really reporting well and growing. If you've got if you can take that sort of 6-month view, the markets, as long as they hold up, they should do reasonably well.
Yeah. Perfect. Tomorrow we'll go through the top 10 nibble small. They also look bloody good.
All right. On that note, Wolfie, thank you very much, champion.
All right. Cheers.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.